What's poppin', players? Welcome back to a Two-Penny Games Cast review, this time for Lego Star Wars The Skywalker Saga. I am your host, Tavin Bothel, here with my good friend and co-host of the Two-Penny Games Cast, Connor Elliott. Say hello to the people, Connor.
Hi.
Hello, Connor.
Again.
I've been playing some Lego Star Wars, The Skywalker Saga.
I have not.
You have not, but you're here for me, with this conversation right here for it. Connor, I'm going to keep it short and sweet, get right to the point. Lego Star Wars The Skywalker Saga hits on everything a Lego fan wants and everything a Star Wars fan wants from a Lego game. This game, I think, is a great success. Pretty great. Is it, mind-blowing, your game of the year thing? Probably not, but still a really damn good game. And super fun and enjoyable and funny and just a blast to play. The perfect, I always describe it, games like this, the perfect crack open a beer after a long day at work and just fucking kick back and play some video games, baby. And this game is that.
Not a hard game then.
No, God no, God no. Yeah. Which is weird because the combat system is actually kind of deep. But it doesn't matter because you can kind of just button mash and run and gun and shoot your way through it. So, if you're a fan of Lego Star Wars games of old, and you kind of just haven't been paying attention to Lego games lately. Also, I'm going to pause right here with this footage that I recorded from the first time I played it. The opening cinematic to this game is enough to bring Star Wars fans to tears.
No, yeah.
It is so good and so cool and so epic. The way that they do this cool montage thing through the different generations of Star Wars and how they use in the editing they use a lightsaber to kind of cut between moments and so forth that you'll see here in a minute where Rey will swing it, and I believe it cuts to Luke is the first thing. I watch this cinematic every time. Every time I load up the game, I watch this cinematic. It's so cool. Great use of music, great use of dialogue from the different games and so forth. And yeah, here it is right here. Bam! Yeah. Now we're in this moment, and it continues through that epic moment this whole time. Lego Star Wars The Skywalker Saga, surprisingly deep combat. There's combos and moves and combo breakers and things you can do, the whole character action game guys like your DMC fans and so forth are really breaking it all down on Twitter. I'm seeing videos of them being like, hey man, you can do an infinite air combo if you do this. It's weird that it's here because it doesn't need to be, but you can do it.
Yeah. I mentioned it to you in the text. I saw the infinite in fighting game terms is where you just can keep doing a move over and over again, basically allowing you to win.
Yeah.
General Grievous can do that, which I don't know how. I don't know why.
Totally not necessary. It doesn't need to be there, but it's there. And then on top of that, there's all these real, not deep, but there's all these upgrade trees that you can go through and expand upon to it starts with some simple stuff with you collect studs, which are the currency in the game, from a greater distance, or you can run a little faster, or you got some more health type things. To each character falls under a character class, so there's Jedi and Sith, or there's heroes, which are your more general shooters. Who's a good example of this? Finn from the sequel trilogy is a hero class guy. There's scoundrels for your Han Solo type characters. There's bounty hunters and droids and all these things, and then you can do little individual upgrades for all of those to just kind of get little stat bonuses. I'll be honest, they don't always matter. And for the most part, I'll be honest, they don't matter. You want your general upgrades, collecting studs from further away, sprinting a little faster, got more health, your ships, when you're in ship combat, you do some more damage and stuff. So those are all cool and great, but as soon as you break down into the individual class stuff, I'm sitting there, I'm like, I don't need any of it. I don't need, when I'm a Sith Lord, I don't need to elicit more fear in the enemies and, get them to run away from me faster because I'm kind of just wiping the floor with everything I step to. So when the game opens, you get to pick, you have to start at the beginning of one of the three trilogies, but you can pick at any trilogy you want. If you want to jump into the original first, the prequels, or the sequels, you just have to start where the trilogy starts. So episode 1, episode 4, episode 7. And then you play your way through those right now.
Now, I'm assuming You're doing the way the movies were released.
I did it based off of order of release. It was either that or I was going to go chronologically. I was not going to start with the sequel trilogy.
No, not.
I've completed the original trilogy and the prequels, and I've started the sequel trilogy.
Okay. Short, because it's a short game.
Relatively, yeah.
Oh, you play it a lot, too.
Each episode probably takes about 2 hours.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, you're in there doing that. There are 6 levels per episode, but there are, instead of like going back to a level hub that you did in the original game, there's like an adventure line, so like that will connect you to the next level. So like, what's the best way that I could break this down? Tatooine in episode 4. You start off playing as Luke, and or rather, here's a better way to put it. So the opening that's playing right here of episode 4, you start playing as Leia and the 2 droids, and the 2 droids hop on, and that's the first level. The 2 droids hop on a it's funny, right? It's
I was like, wait a second.
This isn't right. Gotcha.
Yeah, because I thought they were gonna do a joke about, hey, you're not supposed to be green, but then
yeah.
Boop.
And I'll be honest, a lot of the humor is pretty good throughout. Like they do some good jokes. But sometimes the joke is just that characters are hitting each other.
Okay.
And you're like, all right, this is for kids. So when the droids get on the escape pod, instead of going to a level select screen and going to the next level where you would pick up as Luke, you are R2-D2 and C-3PO traveling through the world, finding your way to Luke.
Oh, okay.
And then we'll play the next level and stuff like that. As a fan of the series, it is interesting to me what they choose to pick is a level and isn't a level. Mm-hmm. For example, the Death Star run in episode 6 was a level in the original games, is not a level here.
Oh, huh.
Yeah, I think that's kind of strange. A lot of these episodes, you would think would end on a lightsaber duel battle. They don't. They don't always. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. Episode 3, for example, 6 levels. 5 of those 6 levels are lightsaber duels, battles, like boss fights.
Okay.
1 is not. No, it just isn't. So, and what they kind of choose to be a level and not be a level, it's just kind of fascinating to me. I don't really have a critique of that. It's just kind of like, there's just a lot of moments where I'm like, okay, surely this is oh, it's not. Oh, it's literally just a 30-second cutscene. Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. Even though each level is like 2 hours, it takes like 2 hours to play, boy, they zoom through these fucking storylines. And I think that's just because gameplay eats up a lot of time. And what I do love, even on top of that, is it is clear to me that fans of the franchise are making this game because they even find room for references and moments for movies that are not involved in this. For example, here, this is the opening to episode 4. You're playing as Leia shooting up some stormtroopers or whatever. Darth Vader is about to be introduced. Now, the movie Rogue One has that famous hallway scene at the end with Darth Vader where he's cutting up a bunch of rebels and stuff. Obviously, Rogue One is not involved in this collection, but they find moments to pay homage to those iconic movie moments, which is great. I think there was even a moment to the right here, bada boom, where the lights go down. Yeah. It's literally like beat for beat, like this is his introduction into that hallway, and then bam, there he is. And then later there's a scene where he's cutting up a bunch of rebels in a hallway. And again, like they always find, something kind of fun and kind of jokey to kind of, do here, which is all great and fun and a good time. And there's always like a good laugh or something. Mm-hmm. They always keep it light, you know? It's always like, hey, we're not sticking here for that long. On to the next moment. Mm-hmm. Which, sometimes is great. And sometimes I'm like, oh, I would have liked to have stayed there for a little while. Or I would have liked to have seen this moment play out the way it played out in the movie, so
more emotional rather than comedy focused.
Not like more emotion. I just would have liked to have seen that moment. Oh, okay. And instead we were like, all right, on to the next bit. Okay. We don't have time for that type. It always feels like we don't have time for this type thing. Like we gotta go. But it's for kids. You gotta keep their attention. They can only do so much at some time and so forth.
Yep.
So yeah, here is a good example of this is where they introduce different melee combos and stuff. So you got you knock dudes into the aerials, slam them down on the ground. There's counterattacks for when they attack you. Almost never happens. Mm-hmm. I think I've successfully countered an enemy once, just just to see what would happen. And I was
Yeah.
like, okay, yeah, he got countered. Cool. Now I'm going to beat the fuck out of him. Yeah, like, it's even to the point to where, like, you can get critical shots on enemies with the third-person over-the-shooter gunplay, like, stuff. Like, you hit their you shoot their helmet off, pops off, you hit them again, and it's critical damage.
Huh.
And I'm sitting, I'm like, there was no need for that. Like, why is that like that? But I'm glad that it's there. It's cool that it's there.
Because it doesn't hamper any gameplay elements.
No.
It happens, and it's kind of what games do nowadays. So.
I also think the game has a great visual language of, you know, you jump into a world and you immediately know what's interactable. You immediately know what you can play with and what is fun and what can break and stuff and what can't, which is all great. You know, you're smashing up things, you're collecting your studs, you're getting your collectathon things going on. It's all just, I mean, what can you say, man? It's the best version of a Lego game we've ever had. Easy enough and accessible enough that, you know, kids at the age of 2 could jump in and play. But, you know, fun and exciting and keeps things fresh enough for, you know, grown adults to enjoy and have fun as well.
Yeah.
If I were to have any real critiques at all, is there are times where I do wish that they kind of took more creative liberty with the difficulty of things. And what I mean by that is, I think specifically to the episode 5 Luke versus Vader fight. And I'm just gonna assume everybody has seen Star Wars here, so spoilers for all this.
Sorry guys, it's been out for years.
The movie's fucking 50 years old. The Luke versus Vader fight, in context, Luke should be getting his ass handed to him. And I wish it felt that way. There are multiple stages to the fight, and every time you transition from one stage to another, a cutscene plays, and Luke is getting his butt handed to him in that cutscene. But in gameplay, you feel like you're smacking the crap out of Darth Vader. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean.
So, like, I kind of wish it didn't feel like I was smacking the crap out of Darth Vader. But at the same time, I have to sit back and be like, this game's not for me. This isn't The Last of Us. This isn't, you know, like...
It's a Lego game.
It's a Lego game.
Yeah.
This is for children. Like the child is not going to have fun if it feels like they're getting beat up.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep,
Here's that hallway moment that I was talking about. So, you know, who am I? You know? So I kind of put that to the side. One real critique that I do have, though, is the co-op system. I do not think was well thought out. Now, as you could probably tell, Connor, they've put a more emphasis on cinematic storytelling than they have in the past here, just with these openings and so forth and all the cutscenes and stuff playing. And that translates into big set-piece moments as well. For example, the Episode 3 Obi-Wan versus Anakin fight at the end. There's, you know, that iconic moment where they're both climbing the tower and they're, you know, battling each other and stuff. Anakin is not playable in that moment like he was in the original game. Instead, the player 1 is Obi-Wan and player 2 is either C-3PO or R2-D2. And so when Obi-Wan and Anakin are hopping from platform to platform fighting each other, C-3PO is just kind of hanging out on a floating platform watching. So I'm not playing this game co-op. I'm playing it single player, but I saw this moment play out for a guy who was playing with his kid, and he was like, you know, I let my kid be Obi-Wan, and then I sat there and watched him play the game, and I was like, this is kind of lame.
Yeah, yeah. And they don't really have any way to balance it to make you both be active in that fight and, you know, up the difficulty.
I mean, you did back in the day. You had one guy play Anakin, and
Yeah.
you had one guy play Obi-Wan, and you still had to work together to get through the level, and then you fought at the end. You know, and it's just kind of interesting the choices that they made in that. There's also no online co-op, which I think is a missed opportunity.
Yeah, why wouldn't?
Yeah, I think we are well beyond the day and age where people are sitting on the same couch together. Granted, this is meant for you to play with your kid, and have their first video game experience, and it's a great opportunity for that. Absolutely, this is a game that, you know, I could take over to my sisters, and me and my nephew are going to play, and I'm going to introduce him to Star Wars this way.
Yeah, you're not arguing for them to take out couch co-op because it's
no,
needs to
absolutely
happen.
keep that. No, that's necessary. Like that is absolutely necessary. My thing is like, why couldn't we do some online play as well? Like, why can't I have you or Phil loaded up and you know, appease me for a little while we do a little Lego Star Wars, you know, for an afternoon or whatever. You know, so there's that. And then I had another critique, but I can't remember off the top of my head right now. But yeah, I'm thoroughly having a really, really good time with this, man. It's just enjoyable from stem to stern. The jokes really are quite funny, and even when they're not, you know, they move at a quick enough pace, and the jokes are coming at you so fast that you've already forgotten all the like moments where you're like, all right, that's not funny.
They give you a lot of quantity to just kind of bypass any lack of quality in certain jokes.
Yeah. And then even in moments where they're like, hey, we unfortunately need to have the characters talk here, like when Obi-Wan and Luke recruit Han in the Mos Eisley Cantina. They have things going on in the background that are like you can go and like look at and pay attention to, and it's like some shenanigans happening in the background that you can point and laugh at, and that a kid can be like, "Ha, look at that." That's what it was. There were moments where the game does the classic third-person action-adventure thing where you stop and talk to your characters so that the narrative can happen.
That's strange.
There are moments where it can happen, and usually they balance it out pretty well by like either keeping it really, really short or having something going on in the background that's funny, or, you know, having some jokes in the dialogue themselves. Everything is voice acted, by the way. All new voice actors and recordings and all that, which is great. Love it all.
It's been the standard for a little while now, hasn't it?
It has been the standard, but like sometimes when they do the movie tie-in stuff, they'll use lines from the movie. For example, the Lego Force Awakens game, used lines for the movie and then had supplementary actors come in and fill in voice lines to connect things that didn't connect because they didn't have a line from the movie. So it would be like, that's Harrison Ford. Oh, that's no longer Harrison Ford.
Yeah.
And even for levels that are being repeated, and we've seen up to 3 different times now. For example, the final fight in Episode 6 has been done in the original game, in Star Wars The Force Awakens, and in this. And it's different every time. And it's cool that they're able to keep it up and keep it fresh, and even come up with new jokes for the same scenes again and again and again. All of that's great. There's great running jokes running throughout all of the games. For example, Anakin's got this little teddy bear that he's had from the child. He keeps holding on to this teddy bear, and you know, whenever like Padme's in the room, he hides the teddy bear because he's nervous or whatever, and you know, and then that teddy bear will pop up in Episode 7. And you're like, oh, look, that's the same fucking teddy bear. Look, cute, you know, whatever. Or whenever a Sith Lord character goes to like shoot some lightning out of their hands, they're gonna shoot. They pull out little toy lightning bolts that don't do anything as a joke, and they go, meh.
That's pretty funny.
And then they go, okay, enough of that. And then they shoot real lightning. All that's great and fun. My critique about the stop and talking and walking for the characters to do it. Sometimes they keep it short, or they keep it entertaining to have, like, they'll have a joke going or whatever. But sometimes it's really just we're really just telling the story of this Star Wars episode that wasn't well told in the beginning, but we're really just talking. The first time that this happened that I can think of is the first time you reach Coruscant in Episode 1, and Chancellor Palpatine, or Senator Palpatine at that time, comes up, and you just follow him, and he sits there and talks to you about the Senate for a little while. And I was sitting here like, if I'm a kid, I turn the game off at this point because you're just sitting here talking to me about the Senate.
That's the stuff they hated in the
I was literally like, why are we doing this? Like, what is going on? And you know, it was just interesting. Usually they take good liberties, or they crack good jokes, or they shorten up storytelling beats that don't matter as much in terms of like getting back to the gameplay and getting your hands back on the sticks. And then, you know, but sometimes they do, you know, sit in a moment for a bit longer than I would like. I've noticed in my short time that I've been playing Episode 7, they're still telling the same level of jokes where, like, people are getting hit and they're, you know, a character will pull out a little gag thing. But, like, they took a lot more liberties with 1 through 6 so far. Like, 1 through 6, they took a lot more liberties, like, with storytelling jokes and making fun of things. 7 seems pretty by the numbers so far. And I wonder if that's because they were like, hey, man, these are our movies. Don't make fun of our movies that way. So I'm expecting 8 and 9, which I would think would be prime real estate for moments to be like, spoilers for Episode 8, Episode 9. Your parents were nobody. Just kidding. Your grandfather was Palpatine. That's prime real estate for a. Are you sure? Are you like, are you just kind of making this up as you go along? No, it's for real. Like something like that, which would be funny. But I have a sneaking suspicion they're not going to do that.
Nope.
But it is what it is. There's great mini games that show up all throughout the different episodes. For example, episode 1 turns into when in the final battles you do the Gungan side of the fight, which has never been done before, which is
cool.
fun. But it's played out like a tower defense game.
Oh, okay, interesting enough. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, big war might as well have something unique.
Yeah, it's just kind of a cute little moment where I'm like, oh, this is neat. The spaceship battles and controls and stuff, and that's how you fly. It's all like this open world connected galaxy and stuff, and you even have the option to go and just kind of free roam and free play and play as whatever character you want.
Mm-hmm.
An extensive list of characters that are playable in this game that I've barely even scratched the surface on.
You have to unlock. Do you have to unlock them as you progress through the story, or does it kind of just give you them all out from the?
It is that you're unlocking them as you're progressing, but you also have to like. There are ones that are just given to you through gameplay, but there are ones that you have to purchase.
I see.
In game, and some day one DLC, for character packs for like Solo: A Star Wars Story or The Mandalorian Season 1 and Season 2.
Mm-hmm.
There was another one that I can't remember off the top of my head. I, of course, bought those.
Of course. Why wouldn't you?
I wanted to play as the Mandalorian, okay? He's got a little baby Yoda that follows him around. It's cute.
Does he do anything? Just follows you around?
No, he just follows you around. If you attack, he's in... Did you ever see the Mandalorian or anything like that? Baby Yoda's got like a little shell, like an egg, like a floating egg that he sits in. And the doors can close up to kind of protect him. If you attack Baby Yoda, those doors close up. And he'll sit there and he'll do little animations or whatever. It's cute. But yeah, I'm just thoroughly enjoying this game, man.
Mm-hmm.
There's not a whole lot I can point to and say like, hey, I've got a critique for this, or or a crazy praise for this. It's just a good time.
Yeah. Is there a lot of replayability after you beat all of it?
Oh yes. They do a thing where like, these games are collectathons. They're all about getting all the studs and achieving true Jedi status on each level, and then there's like little mini kit collectibles you can get, and getting all the Kyber bricks, which are an upgradable currency and stuff that are rewarded for completing challenges and for finding all of the collectibles on a level and so forth. There's over 1,000 Kyber bricks.
Damn.
Which
I'm assuming that's a lot in the context of how you get them in the game.
It's a lot. And I'm just kind of knocking them all out as I'm going and having a good time. But yeah, as you play through the games, it'll be like there'll be a locked door, and it'll be like, hey, only a bounty hunter can get through here, but you don't have a bounty hunter in your playable cast right now, so you have to come back in free play mode. Which I'll say again, don't start with the sequel trilogy, because there's a lot of things locked behind the powers of Jedi. And if you've played episode 7, you don't get a Force user until literally the last 15 minutes of that movie.
Yeah.
So I would definitely recommend starting with one of the other two, because at least in episode 4, the second level gives you Old Man Kenobi. So that works. Or episode 1, literally 2 right out the gate.
Yeah, obviously.
Qui-Gon and young man Obi. Oh, that's another great running. R2 is always vomiting. R2-D2 is just throwing up all the time. I don't know why. It's a great joke. Yeah, I love it. Every time it happens, I'm like, haha, the R2 threw up.
It's funny.
Yeah, but yeah, man, this game is great. If I was a kid, I would be playing this game every day for the rest of my life.
Come home from school, run right to the GameCube. I'm assuming that's what it would be on if you were a kid.
Yeah, something. PlayStation 2 probably, or something like that. And it really does take me back, and it reignites that love I had for those first few Lego games that I haven't felt. I've even in excitement and lead up to this game, I was playing the original Lego Star Wars Complete Saga, which was episodes 1 through 6 from 2006. And I was like, this is cool, but it's pretty simple and it's old, and it's really for kids. And this one I'm much more like, okay, this is fully fleshed out. It looks beautiful, it plays beautiful, the music's great, the sound is great, the voice acting's pretty solid. The sense of progression I get from collecting studs and completing challenges and upgrading my characters and stuff is not necessary and doesn't feel very impactful, but it gives you a sense of progression that satisfies. I will be playing this game from stem to stern. I will be 100% completing this game. I'll be, I'm a big trophy collector guy. The trophy list isn't phenomenal. It's literally a lot of collect your first Kyber crystal and then collect all Kyber crystals. And I'm like, okay, I guess, sure, why not? Or Kyber bricks rather. Or it's like, get true Jedi on one level, get them on all the levels, and I'm like, okay, so there's no in between. There's no like checkbook. Like every 15 levels, I get a trophy. Oh no, it's literally you just do it and then you do it all, and then it's just story progress stuff. But the game is built in a way, and it's built well enough to where I want to do all of those things. In the little like free roaming segments where you're in those connected levels, connecting the actual levels from level to level, you are in free play. So like if you're running around the open world of Tatooine and you see something that is specific to a Jedi, you can switch over to Luke Skywalker from episode 6, even if you're in episode 2 or 1 rather. Or no, Tatooine's in both those episodes. Never mind. And you just run around as episode 6 Luke Skywalker, and you're moving things around and playing with this. It's all a good time. There's side quests littered throughout this whole game. I've mostly been ignoring them because I feel personally a Lego game doesn't open up until you beat the story.
Then you get free reign.
Yeah, and then you get free reign. So I've done a couple of side quests and stuff. They're good enough. It's a lot of like, go over here, talk to this person, go over there, collect this thing, go over there, fight those enemies, and then come back and stuff. Super simple. It's not a whole lot of thought put into any of it. But does a lot of thought need to be put into it? Like, you're here to break things,
right?
To fight stormtroopers and stuff, and then call it a day. The light puzzles that are in the game are all super simple. Once you do one, that's pretty much all you're gonna do. Like for example, every time you use R2D2 to open up a door, it is the same puzzle every time with the same solution, and they don't advance on it. They don't iterate on that idea. They don't do anything. Everything gets more creative the deeper into a trilogy you go. So the first episode of a trilogy, 1, 4, and 7 are all super simple. Obviously, I haven't played the sequel trilogy, but like things happening in episode 3 and in episode 6 were more dynamic and built upon ideas more than things that were happening in episode 1 and 4. So like, obviously, because you can start any trilogy, they had to keep the ideas at a base level, like introductory things, and then they could build a little bit, but they don't build that much because they don't have that much time to build.
Yeah.
But like at the same time, it's for fucking 4-year-olds, dude. Like, so like, did you really want super advanced mechanics and so forth? Just every time I'm like, oh, this is pretty simple and getting kind of tedious and boring, I also go, shut up, Tavin, you're playing a Lego game.
The simplicity is the selling point of Star Wars.
Exactly. And just the breadth of content here is great. Absolutely worth a full asking price. Absolutely worth the time it takes. Like, it's just fun. And you're just running around breaking things, collecting studs, getting out there. And like, everything is just built so in a way to where everything is satisfying. You're flying around, you're breaking things. The sound effect that plays when you break things sounds good. It makes you want to break more things. When you pick up studs, the sound effect for picking up studs makes you want to pick up more studs.
It's nice.
Huh?
The little clink noise.
Yeah, it's a little. Yeah. When you build things and it goes, you feel good. It just all feels good.
Sound design's good in this game.
Oh, it's so good.
Sound
design is so good, Connor.
Game of the Year contender award contender for that kind of category.
I think so.
Yeah, I can see that easily as well.
Yeah. And then, in terms of like the Keeleys or whatever, this will be in the best family game, best co-op, whatever.
It'll win.
It'll probably win best family game unless Nintendo does something exciting this year.
Breath of the Wild 2 with co-op.
Maybe Kirby. I don't know. I think it should go to this, though.
Does the new Kirby game have co-op?
No. As far as I know, it doesn't.
Yeah.
I don't think it does. I don't know. Fuck. You know what? I meant to mention it at the top of the review. It's just unfortunate that the people over at TT Games are having to crunch so hard for this game.
Yeah, it got delayed that one point.
Yeah,
when it was supposed to come out last year.
They've been getting their asses kicked. And it's nice to say all their hard work paid off, but like, was it necessary? I don't know. I don't think so. Is it ever necessary? I don't think so. So congratulations to the team for delivering on such a great game. Sorry you had to, not see your families in order to deliver upon this game. But, idiots like me, super happy. We like it a lot.
Yeah.
So, thanks for that.
That guy.
Obi-Wan's here.
Oh, yeah.
Anyways, Connor, do you have any questions about anything we've seen so far?
Not really. I mean, I know what a Lego game entails.
Yeah.
And it looks good. It looks fun. Nice,
exactly
nice,
what you think.
Nice looking, pleasant looking.
Just done the best it's ever been.
Yeah.
Absolutely, worth your time, worth your money, worth go give them the $60-$70, whatever it was.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good time.
Whatever it was, you bought.
You'll have a good time. You're gonna have a good time. Did I touch on the space battles? Space combat plays a lot like combat in Star Wars Battlefront 2.
Okay.
Not as deep. Like you're not controlling your speed really, like you were in that game. It's really just kind of boost or
don't boost.
Don't boost. Yeah. But and then sometimes it feels like you're just kind of they do that thing where like your target is here, but like they'll put like a secondary dot here, be like, hey man, if you shoot here, then by the time your bullet hits them, or your bullet gets to them, it'll actually hit them and so far.
So it's not making it spend too much time on aiming, more just traversing the level, traversing the space.
It's a lot to get. It's a lot about getting from place to place and collecting more things, and there's like side quests to do within the space combat and so forth, and traveling in the open world, which like I'm not gonna lie, as a longtime Star Wars fan, it's fun to pull off to get off of Tatooine and go to Alderaan, or not Alderaan, Naboo rather, or to pull away from Naboo and go to Mustafar and then go to Jakku and then get it's fun to visit these places and explore and run around and do the things that I've always wanted to do. This is a great This is a great game. It's a great Lego game. It's a great Star Wars game. Yep. I'm having a blast. I don't know if they have the character creator in this game or not, because I don't know if I've unlocked it or if not. I'm just kind of playing through the story and enjoying myself so far, and I'm just going to continue to keep playing and dump dozens and dozens of hours into it,
Might as well.
Because it's just so easy to just pick up and play and mindless, fun. It's really just fun. And yeah, I don't think this is going to be my game of the year by any means, even though for me, this year has not been phenomenal so far. There's been phenomenal games that have come out, but like it just hasn't been hitting me. This one has hit me quite well, so this game will rank quite high. And based off of just the breadth of content and the amount of content offered here, there's an argument to be made it could beat Sifu out, but at the same time, Sifu was such solid combat systems and so forth that I enjoyed, and the challenge of overcoming all of those bosses and so forth that, there's a lot of that. This is a great joke.
I've seen that on Twitter.
Yeah, where, Luke goes, how did my father die? And Obi-Wan goes, we don't want to talk about that.
Yep.
They bring back, quite often, they bring back voice actors from the old animated Clone Wars cartoon,
nice.
which I appreciate, because to me, those like the Anakin Skywalker voice actor is Anakin Skywalker to me, over Hayden Christensen or something. But yeah, I don't really have anything to say, man. Lego Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga is a great game. You should go play it. And I think we're just gonna go leave it at that.
Yeah,
ladies and gentlemen, that has been another Two Penny Games Cast review. Thank you so much for watching and listening. Do know that this review is tied to the end of Two Penny Games Cast episode 89, which you can find at youtube.com/2pennygamescast or mainstream podcast services of your choice, SoundCloud, Spotify, Google Podcast, Apple Podcast. Please like, share, subscribe. We really do appreciate it. If just talking about video games is enough, you want to watch us play video games live, hop on over to twitch.tv/2pennygames, where I've been playing Lego Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga all freaking week, and I'm having a great time. Or Tuesday, 2 p.m. Central Time, you can go and watch me and my good buddy Phil sit down and play some Tiny Tina's Wonderland for our show Hype, Have You Ever Played?, in which one of us shows the other a game we've never played before. And we're working our way through Wonderlands right now, and soon we'll be taking on that there Sly Cooper. Just keep an eye out for that. There is after the Hype review for Uncharted 4 that just came out this last week. Please go check that out. Go see how Phil reacted to the first ever playthrough of Uncharted 4: A Thief's End. But until next time, have a great time. And Connor, say goodbye to the people.
Goodbye.